This is the place. They say people come from far, far, far away to find their dreams, chasing down these meteors and comets called dreams in the sky of life. There's certain hot spots.
Yo, hey, first things first, I gotta let y'all know how to do something. I need you guys to come over here, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, hit all, so you can get all the K-Dots notifications. But let's continue on with this video. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy ssjk-dots, the first Black Super Saiyan in the world, and I'm back here with another video. I'm gonna make this review quick. I'm just gonna talk about some things, talk about this show that I just recently watched. I binged it, I finished it, 11 seasons. The first half of this show, I'll explain it. The name of the show is called Shameless. The show stars our characters Fiona Gallagher, Carl Gallagher, Ian Gallagher, Lip Gallagher, Debbie Gallagher, and Frank Gallagher. Frank being the father. Frank is a deadbeat father. He's a piece of shit. He doesn't take care of his kids. He's a neglectful father. The mom's also a piece of shit, but she's not as big of a character in this show like Frank is. You know, Monica shows up and Monica makes 3 appearances up until her death in this show. Yeah, she makes 3 or 4 different appearances in separate seasons and stuff. She's not consistently there all the time like Frank is. The Gallaghers is just a family living in the south side of Chicago, and I've never been to Chicago, but I'm guessing the south side of Chicago is the poor. Urban side of Chicago, the lower income housing and stuff. I'm guessing that's the south side of Chicago. Fiona, who is the oldest sister, but let's be real, she's the mother of the family since Monica is a piece of shit mom who can't do shit. Fiona is the oldest sister, but she's the mother of the household. Since Frank is a neglectful father who gets drunk, high, always trying to scam people, pretends to be homeless and shit, even though he got a fucking house. He's basically a wanderer. He's a squatter. He just goes wherever he can, tries to rip off wherever he can, on drugs and stuff, all those things. So, Shameless for me is great up until the point when Fiona leaves. My favorite characters in the show is Fiona, Ian, I love me some Carl, Kevin, Frank, Mickey, shit, even Kermit and Tommy. My favorite character of them all though is Fiona. Oh, Liam's another favorite. My favorite of them all is Fiona. And I think when Fiona leaves the show, the seasons are they start to get effed up. They really start to get effed up. Because when Fiona leaves, a lot of stuff that happens in this show stops making sense. For example, in the second half, around seasons 10 and 11, Ian and Mickey gets married. Now, Fiona's not dead. She just moves to another place. She moves somewhere else. But you gotta think to yourself, Fiona been there so many times. She's been there so many times for Lip, all of the family. She's been supporting everybody, even fucking Frank. Working as hard as she can. They was gonna lose the house. She was gonna lose the house. So what she decided to do, she was just going to become a homeowner and they was going to buy the house. Carl bought the house, but she was going to do so much just to keep the family together. So I appreciate Fiona for being a great big sister. I gotta give her props for that. But when Fiona leaves, Ian and Mickey gets married, and that's something Fiona would be there for. you see Debbie, Lip, Ian, Carl, and all of them going back and forth with each other and stuff, going through all these problems. And like, not once do these individuals ever think to call their big sister. Season 10 and 11 is so, I'll be honest with you, yes, I cried in the final episode of season 11, but season 10 to 11 is so bad. Like, it's so bad because it's just, it doesn't make sense. For the first 9 seasons, I believe Fiona leaves at season 9, if I remember, around season 9. And all this stuff is going on. Lip is deciding to sell the house because he's about to lose his house. Corona hit, and they're all contemplating, what should we do with the house? Should we sell it? Should we keep it? And not once do they think to call Fiona, who also should be involved in the decision making of that. And it's like, they're going through all these problems. They're not even calling her big sister, who is more knowledgeable on this type of stuff, that can help them out, help them find a way out of things, and call her. They act like Fiona doesn't exist. Now, granted, in season 11, Frank acknowledges Fiona before he passes. But the issue with the final episode of season 11 that really was like a freaking, like, stab me in the side. Frank wrote a letter. He mentioned Debbie, Carl, Liam, Veronica, Kevin. But not once in that letter did he mention Fiona's name. I'm like, I get it, he had dementia. But if you remembered Carl, especially fucking Carl. If you remembered Carl, Debbie, Lip, V, Kevin, and what am I forgetting? Lip. Ain't no damn way he's gonna forget Fiona, because even before, while Frank was on his deathbed, and I believe he died from COVID. He didn't die from that dementia shit. He most likely died from the COVID shit. He saw the doctor, and this was it was a beautiful moment. Mind you, there was beautiful moments in the final episode, but overall, just the story of it did not make sense. Like, just the last 2 seasons in general, season 10 and 11. The nurse who's with Frank, Frank thinks that the nurse is Fiona. He's dying. He's reminiscing. He's remembering Debbie, Lip, all of them as they was kids and stuff. He's remembering all of them. You guys, when I was watching this, I was in tears, man. I was in tears. I was like, even though Frank was like a trash dad, just seeing him remember the family and just remember them all at specific ages. He remembered them all from season 1. He remembered what they looked like in season 1. Fiona, Lip, Ian, Carl, all of them when they was young. He remembered all of them, bro. And I was just like, dang. And then Frank was looking at the doctor. He was looking at the doctor, y'all. The nurse. And he was just saying, Fiona, is that you? And the nurse played along. He was like, yeah, I'm here. How are you doing? He looked at the nurse, said, she said, you're beautiful. And I was like, dang, like, he's remembering Fiona and stuff. Like, you guys, Fiona was one of my favorite characters in this shit. And another thing that hit in that final episode, oh my goodness, Liam, bro. Y'all, Liam in this final episode, oh my gosh, this kid did great. Whoever played Liam, this is a good fucking kid. I remember in the prior seasons when Liam was growing up, and I think it was around season 4 or 5. I remember Liam said that Frank was a good father. I remember Liam said, Frank, you're a good dad. Like, Liam, all of Liam's like interactions with Frank was nothing like too bad. While Lip, Debbie, and all of them, they had bad interactions with Frank. So Liam has a different outlook on Frank than his brothers and sisters. So what ended up happening was the whole last episode of season 11, Liam was going around the city looking for Frank. He didn't care about what Frank did to Lip, all of them. He was just wanted to make sure his dad was okay. And there was a moment where Frank, they have this moment where Frank is on his way to, Frank dies. And Frank is just, he's a ghost. I'm not saying his ghost is really there, but like they're doing a moment where he's a ghost. And he's going around at the Alibi, Kevin and V's bar. And he's visiting He's just looking at everybody. Kevin V reminiscing about everything and just looking at everybody, and he sees Liam when he walks out that door, and Liam took a look. Oh my gosh, y'all! Liam took a look. He was like, Liam wanted to make sure his dad was like, he was just. The kid who played Liam did such a great job in that finale, y'all. He took one last look at Frank's chair. He didn't care what Frank did. He was just so worried about his dad. I was like, damn. Look, seasons 10 to 11, writing wise, like, it's messed up. But that final episode, damn. Like, it hurt that Fiona was not in the final 2 seasons. But Liam, the kid who played Liam did something to save it for me. Cause I'll just say this. This is what I would have preferred they should have done. When the doctors when the nurses and stuff was trying to look for Frank's contact information, and I don't know why they had all those files of their contact info. It should have been, like Ian and their numbers and stuff. I don't know why all those files stuff. I don't know, bunch of doctor bullshit. But I guess they couldn't find the contact information in time to call up Lip, Ian, and them. Oh, and just another thing. Oh my gosh, nobody knows how to answer their damn phones. Lip and the communication between the family in these last 2 seasons was so trash. Fiona not being there really hurt this family. Like, they did not know what the fuck to do. I mean, Debbie did her best, but she is not Fiona. Fiona was really holding things down and keeping things together because she knew what decisions to make. But what I would have preferred if they did get in contact with either nurses, got in contact with either Kevin, V, Lip, Ian, whoever. It doesn't matter to me. But what would have probably made that season finale better is that I think the characters that should have been at the hospital with Frank should have been Liam, Carl for sure, because Carl, while he had issues with Frank, he always did, help out Frank. Like, when Frank needed money and stuff, he's like, here you go. Kevin V should have been there for sure. Ian was in that room with Frank to see his dad, because at the end of the day, Liam is a good kid, bro. Like, even though Liam had his fair issues with Frank, he was still like, this is still like my dad. He did not care, and I love that. That final season, there's so much writing issues in that final season. Fiona not being there really hurts these last 2 seasons because it does not make sense. Even like with a lot of the stuff going on, and then that the final decision they decided to do with Debbie and stuff was so dumb. Like, Debbie's one of my favorite characters, but that final decision they made, like the happy ending for Debbie in a sense. So Debbie was always complaining about her trying to have a better life for Franny, and now they set up Debbie with this fucking girl named Heidi, random ass chick out of nowhere, to set up some fake bullshit relationship, and her happy ending is now to go off with some crazy ass chick that just fucking jacking cars and shit with Franny to freaking Texas. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'll say this about this show. Ian and Mickey, another one of my favorite characters. Like, Ian and Mickey, they're 2 homosexual characters. They're great characters, I'll be honest. I like Ian and Mickey. Ian is compassionate, thoughtful dude. He ain't no punk. He's tough. He's tough. He's tough as nails. The thing about Ian's character that we kind of find out in the later seasons, that he has this bipolar disorder that he gained from his mother. It's a genetic disorder that he gained from his mother. And Mickey, who has a hard time coming out as homosexual, throughout the show, who eventually does come out and is honest and is with Ian, tries to go through the length of trying to help out Ian fix his issues and stuff, and even suggesting first, like, we're not finna put Ian in no freaking psychiatric ward. He's gonna stay here with me at my house, and I'm gonna take care of him. Mickey is homosexual, but he's like, I think he's Italian. I don't know what he is in this, but he's like this, macho. He's basically a macho homosexual dude. That's what Mickey is in this show. And I'll say this much: I like them. Like I like their chemistry. I'm like, these two perfect for each other. But Ian and Mickey was some great characters. Lip, I like Lip up until he went to college. When he went to college, I was like, shit had to stop. Because I remember after Lip went to college, I was like, I'm done with Lip as a character. I remember there was one episode where Lip just went off on Fiona. Right? He went off on Fiona and got mad at her. Lip got mad at Fiona, the older sister, basically his mother, who was raising him for years and stuff. Giving her a hard time as of late. Acting like he's better than everybody and shit. Lip is gonna get mad at Fiona because Fiona went to his motorcycle shop, right? And Lip was part of an AA, and he was sponsoring somebody. And what ended up happening was Fiona did not know that Lip was sponsoring the person she ran into at his shop. She was drunk, she was drinking and shit. And the sponsor saw it and he took a sip. And after that, he went to go get some heroin and did some other shit. So Lip comes back to the house, Fiona's back at the house, and Lip, right in front of Debbie, Ian, and Carl, is gonna yell at Fiona talking about, why'd you get my sponsor drunk? He was my sponsor. And mind you, Lip never told Fiona about that being his sponsor. Fiona did not know that was his sponsor, that he had to keep from drinking and stuff. And I'm over here like, you better lower your tone, boy. You better put some respect on Fiona. Going at her like that, you better put some respect on Fiona, Lip. So I think by the end of this, Lip was probably my least favorite character. But it was up until college. Before that, I was like, Lip's cool with me. But nah, after that, because Lip falls off for me. Debbie falls off for me at that last dumbass happy ending for her. Like, I liked Debbie up until season 1. Really to the Heidi shit. Like, when that Heidi shit came in, I'm like, there was no need to do the Heidi stuff. That Heidi stuff was dumb. The Heidi whole last happy ending thing with Heidi and shit, that was dumb. I was like, there's no reason for Debbie to be getting with this fucking, like, girl, and she's fucking going around jacking cars and shit. She put a fucking gun to her chest and shit. It was going to shoot her or whatever. I was like, what the fuck? You gonna date this bitch? No, that shit was dumb. Cause Debbie had to take up Fiona's role and stuff. She was cooking it for the family. She was managing the money, paying the bills. And I was like, not even the Carl and them wasn't even respecting Debbie and shit. I felt bad because I was like, damn, these some ungrateful niggas. But man, while Frank was a deadbeat, he was neglectful. Man, just seeing Frank, his antics and stuff, all the scamming and stuff, and the actor who played Frank, man, he did a great job. Like, it was just fun. It was just a fun time with Frank. And Frank is honest. Frank said in that last letter he's proud of the kids, but he was honest. Like, he wanted to live life the way he wanted to. And if that meant him neglecting his kids and stuff, he wanted to live life the way he wanted to. So Frank is happy with the life he lived. Frank doesn't regret the life he lived. And, I'm not saying Frank's life is a good life to live, neglecting your 6 kids and stuff, but Frank's happy with his life. And if you're happy, you're good. If you're happy, I'm happy. I'm not saying Frank's decisions through life was the best or at all, but he was honest. He really did not care about all the kids like that. I think he cared about Liam the most, and definitely Fiona. He definitely cared about Liam and Fiona the most. That's just the fact. He liked Liam and Fiona the most, especially how he interacted with Liam in that last episode. Fiona, when he's looking at that nurse and stuff, and he's telling that nurse, like, Fiona, is that you? You look beautiful, Fiona. And just his little final antics with Liam in the end, like that. There was a scene where Frank was going to his drug dealer to buy some heroin, and you know Liam was with him, and Frank was walking away down this alley. You know he had his dementia. This was in season 11, a couple episodes before he dies, and he puts his arm around Liam. They're walking down the alley, heading back home. And Liam, throughout the last couple of episodes, he take a Sharpie and he's writing. Liam is. That's such a good fucking kid, man. Such a good fucking kid. I want a kid like Liam, bro. That's a good ass kid, man. Shit. So Liam was taking a Sharpie. He was making sure to write these messages on Frank's arm, letting Frank know he had dementia and stuff. I was like, damn, that's a good kid, man. Whatever Frank did, Liam was like, this is still my dad. And I was like, I was like, that's a good kid, man. He don't care what life Frank lived. He don't care how Frank acted. He was like, this is my dad, and I'm gonna just help him the best way I can. Liam even made it obvious to Frank. He was like, it was 3 episodes before Frank died. And Liam, he was like, everyone else in this house hates you, but when it's your time to go, you know, I'm gonna have to make a decision on like what we're gonna do with you. And you know, Liam wasn't lying. Like, Liam would have done that. That's why I wish at least Liam was in that freaking hospital with Frank before he died. Like, if anything, Liam should have been in that fucking hospital with Frank, bro. He should have. You know, Frank dying alone, maybe it's deserving, but at least Liam should have been there, bro. Liam was such a good kid, man. Such a good kid. But Shameless seasons like 1 to 9, to me, I'll say this much. My favorite episodes from Shameless was back to season 1 was 9 and 10. Especially with Fiona. When Monica returned. When Monica returned and she was trying to take Liam, Fiona checked Monica. She was like, I raised all your kids. She was saying, you know, how Ian's going to get ready to go to military school. Debbie's doing great in school. Carl is on track to he's a work in progress, but he's on track to do better. And you know, talking about how Lip is a smart kid and stuff, and they all manage without Monica. I thought that was powerful because I was like, that's some truth. The oldest daughter is putting in more effort to protect her siblings, nurture her siblings, and put them on the right track compared to the mom that was a deadbeat, just like Frank, didn't do shit, always getting high, neglecting the kids, shared fair, you know, even abused the kids. But man, Fiona and Liam, he takes shit over me, bro. Liam killed in this final season. I kind of figured that was going to happen anyway because it was in season 4 or 5 when Liam told Frank, you are a good dad. While I may have not agreed with what Liam said, but to Liam, Frank was a good dad. Mind you, Liam was very young. Even though he was still young, he was like 10 in the final season. Frank didn't do enough hurt to Liam for Liam to like have true hate like Lip, Ian, Fiona, and even Debbie had for Frank. So Liam's intent to protect Frank. It was all still wholesome. It was all in goodwill. Even though, yeah, he tried to, like, you know, scam Frank too, because, you know, Frank taught Liam how to scam. You know, he even tried to scam Frank at times. But it was just, that's just what the Gallaghers are. This house of misfits. But these misfits, they keep their promises, and they try their best to do what they need to do. But, you guys, this season finale, bro, I wasn't even trying to cry in this shit, because this shit did something to me. Just because it made me cry, I'm not saying the last season is good, because it's not. The last season is pretty shit. Oh, another thing I like. Shouts out Fiona. There was this one episode where Fiona became a owner of an apartment complex, and this was after Monica died. Monica left in a inheritance of cocaine, right? And Carl was helping the family move the cocaine. Fiona took her and Debbie's cocaine. No, Fiona took, I think, her and Frank's cocaine and shoved it back in Monica's casket, because Fiona did not want no part of that. Fiona, you know, good head on the shoulders. That's what she had. The dealer Monica was working with, who she took that coke from that she had to sell, the dealer found them, and Fiona had to come up with a plot and plan to basically fix that issue with them. To fix that issue and you know, get the coke, pay off the dealer. So basically, Fiona has this moment where she calls out all her brothers and sisters. Liam's not there, but she calls out Lip, Ian, Carl, and Debbie to establish that she runs shit. She knows what's best for all of them. And that, you know, she was right. And guess what? Fiona's right, because she's right, because she got a good head on her. So that's why she's the one who leads the house. Even, yeah, Fiona messed up. She had some coke, and Liam snorted it. But Liam's lived. Not saying I agree with her decisions, but hey, she fucked up, but she was making up for it. But still, Fiona usually was right, and she ended up being right. And another moment where I was like, Frank was a piece of shit, but he does care about the kid. There was a scene where they was dealing with that dealer who was trying to get the coke back, and Frank pulled up to the dealer. He told him, if you fuck with my family again, I'm coming for you. And I was like, is Frank drunk or is he high when he says this? I was like, oh no, I think Frank meant that. Yeah, Frank meant that. He was like, you fuck with my family, I'm gonna come get your ass. And like I say, Frank, he's a piece of shit, but damn, he still cares. Like, he still cares. There's something in him that cares. But look, you guys, I don't want to cry no more of this shit. But I just want to say one last thing. Liam helped get me through that finale. Seeing Liam go from trash can, alleyway, street, subway, train or whatever, bus. He went out there and looked for his dad. He did not care what Frank did in the past. He was like, I'm gonna get my dad. I don't give a fuck. And he tried his best. Even when he went to the alibi and he ended up realizing that Frank wasn't there, he was just down. He was like, he wanted Frank to be there. And, you know, the finale ended with them throwing a party for Ian and Mickey's wedding anniversary. But, you know, seeing Ian just down, he was hoping Frank would be there. He wanted Frank to be there because Frank, you know, not having Frank at the alibi is like, it was just abnormal. It wasn't right. When Fiona leaves, that's when the show takes a turn for like, yeah. It's like taking out Frank. Taking out Fiona is the equivalent of getting rid of Frank. Let's say if Frank left when Fiona left, the show is not going to be the same. Like, I wouldn't think one actor leaving could really have this, have the, you know, usually when an actor leaving stuff, you don't really, like, for certain things you can move on, but I couldn't move on from the fact that Fiona just left. I couldn't move on from that. I couldn't. Her character was so important. For her to not be there for so much stuff that happened in the last 2 seasons, and help make decisions with the family stuff. Even though, yeah, I understand they was adults and they had to make their own decisions. Fiona even wanted that. She wanted them to make their own decisions. But the fact that she was gone this whole season, not called, or yeah, she was mentioned, but you don't hear her voice, nothing. I still don't know why the actor left. I don't know. I'll do some research on it later. But Fiona being there affected. Fiona not being there really affected these last 2 seasons. But still, Liam a good kid, man. Liam's a great fucking kid, bro. That's a good kid. That's the kid. That's the type of kid you want. Still looking out for his dad. It don't matter. And look, if Frank was like Terry, Mickey's dad, going around and like fucking smacking up Liam and shit, and you know, Liam wouldn't be so willing to go to Frank and look for him or whatever. But like I say, Frank didn't hurt Liam enough for Liam to like be against Frank like Ian, Fiona, and Debbie and them was. But if anything, Liam should have been in that hospital room with Frank to see him leave, at least. You know, Frank dying alone, I understand why, because, you know, maybe it's just, you know, it's what Frank deserved. Frank most likely deserved to die alone without his family there. But Liam should have been there in that room with Frank. But look, you guys, I'm about to go and end this review. It's your boy K-Dot, the first Black Super Saiyan to wear around things. That peace, love, positive, and all that jazz, and don't do drugs. And yo, hey, if you guys want to do extra things to support this channel, I mean, you can already subscribe to the channel. You can hit this bell and hit all. But another thing you got over here, you see that join button? Y'all see that shit right there? You see that join button? Click that shit. And once you click that shit, you can select any of these tiers. You can join whichever one you want to of your choice. And I'll promise to deliver the content that you need me to deliver as you requested. But I'm going to go ahead and end this. Let's get back to this video because, you know, I got some more fire I got to go spit. Let's go. Deuces.
What'd you do? What'd you do?